Today's horoscope from Astro Academy, Taurus, January 29, 2023. Your need for non-competitive outlets for self-expression is strong today. You crave increased space on an emotional level. There's a slapdash approach to thinking that you should watch for, but entertaining both practical and emotional or spiritual perspectives could work well for you. A far-out idea may come first before discovering a truth, likely related to a financial or intimate matter. Take your time before making big decisions, but enjoy a mental exercise now for best results. Consider that you might have something helpful to learn from someone else's perspective. Going off on a small tangent may be just what you need to keep things interesting. Of all the zodiac signs, you are one of the most adept at opening yourself to new horizons and change. However, sometimes shocking twists of fate also send you into a spiral. Since 2018, the Great Awakener planet, Uranus, has been orbiting in the distant caves of your subterranean unconscious. This has likely made your dreams quite intense, especially when it comes to flashes of insight into your personal or romantic life. Also, if you've had any compulsions, addictions, or traumas around sex or love that you've been unpackaging, now is the time to embrace healing and perhaps even consult with a therapist or counselor. You have more power than you think. Since Mercury in Capricorn will square Chiron in Aries today, you may feel unsure of the professional connections and aspirations that you have invested in. You could feel like there is a general lack of control, especially if there are unforeseeable hiccups that have hindered the transformation of your goals and working relationships. Instead of shying away from your investments, you could use this square to take charge by course-correcting as needed. It will be easy to keep calm when making these changes since the moon will be exalted in Taurus. The moon's return to a nostalgic and reflective but also intuitive and imaginative part of your chart today will do more than just bring an invitation to slow down over the weekend. The next few days will see the moon form a friendly aspect to both Mercury and Pluto in your financial sector, something that can fuel your financial confidence, instincts and imagination while balancing this with a more head-in-the-game approach to money matters. With today's planetary energies, you are feeling at the center of a lot of attention, and this adds a sense of an emotional burden. Stay tuned to your emotions even when you don't feel so great. It only makes it worse if you try to escape negative feelings. Exercise is a great way to keep the heaviness at bay, and certain kinds of exercise help more than others when times are tough. Follow your intuition, but weightlifting, stretching and quick sprints are recommended. If you have been struggling with a situation in your life that isn't turning out very well, this can be the best day to find resolution. A day such as this can bring the factors that are troubling you most into the light. Further, it can really help you to determine if it is worth hanging on to something, or if it would be better to let it go. Take the time you need to really think things over before acting. The moon's return to a nostalgic and reflective part of your chart and its invitation to slow down comes just in time for the weekend, and with it a valuable chance to catch your breath. With the pace of the year picking up and the moon just 2 days away from Gemini and a better read on Mars' growing call for action, this is a chance to first catch your breath. With Venus in her first full day in your career sector and things heating up professionally, the timing couldn't be better. Just 4 days after the last of the 4 planets that began the year in retrograde motion turned direct, another is slowing down in order to turn retrograde. It is Ceres who is about to buck the trend, and while this won't slow things down, a retrograde turn in your romantic sector will open the doors to the past on the romantic front, now that everything else from the past has been explored. Our eyes in the sky. Mercury in Capricorn squares off with healing centaur Chiron, currently in Aries. This transit gives us a chance to understand and process the deep wounds that need to be healed within ourselves. Also, we might feel moved to check in on those people who aren't in a good emotional place and show that we care. Being there for others in their time of need is extremely important now. Action you take today may significantly annoy someone else in your workplace. Other people's moods are going to put a damper on you and your work, but this is no reason to slow down or change course. Continue on regardless of others. A tendency to push yourself forward creates an adverse impression with the people you meet. Even if it's not intentional, your attitude disrupts any potential for things to run smoothly. Try to restrain yourself. Otherwise, you're unlikely to impress anyone since your boastful manner makes you seem conceited and unapproachable. Full of positive energy, the composure you're able to show is obvious for all to see and indicates that your mind and body are in total harmony. Allow others to share in your positive outlook. Try to get them to join you in your regime for healthy sporting activity or exercise routines. You find you're a good motivator. Are you in need of money to invest in new projects? Then go ahead with your plans, because circumstances are favorable. Friends who give you advice are being honest with you for the most part. If you want to purchase something, you can do it now. You will make the right choice and won't be misled by sales staff. In the pre-dawn hours, Mercury in Capricorn squares off with Chiron in Aries, making communication a challenge. Today's events cause us to feel insecure or ignorant. Instead of backing off when we experience a conflict, we double down. Others fail to understand our logic and our worst fears become a self-fulfilling prophecy, that we may not know as much as we think. Ultimately, forcing ourselves to overcome misunderstandings or projections makes us better communicators. But it won't feel like it today. Not until we have some distance from our current dilemma will we be able to understand its significance. You're not making the headway you think you ought to be making. Feeling confined, you want to make some changes to your life. You need to put the new ideas and plans you have into action. Don't delay any longer. If you share your thoughts and ideas with those closest to you, you're able to rely on their steadfast support for the future. You may find yourself rushing from one place to another. People demand your attention and want to involve you in their conversations. The sound advice you can contribute, provide the necessary impetus required to implement new schemes or ideas that result. Take some well-deserved leisure time for yourself. After sunup, Mercury opposes Pallas, the goddess asteroid of sacred wisdom, in Cancer. This aspect is a frustrating complement to the Mercury-Chiron square. We feel inept and unable to visualize a path forward in our predicament. It appears there are too many hurdles to overcome to anticipate any kind of victory. However, because Pallas is currently retrograde, we are encouraged to reconsider our plans without stressing over their future implementation. Back up and get perspective. The more you push your point, the less headway you are going to make. Consider a holistic approach to this issue. Perhaps you should be listening and empathizing more than speaking.